Hello and welcome back to Sunny Cove, and today what we're going to be focusing on is paying down our debt. Now, before any of you get confused, this is not a personal finance video, but because of my decision to play this on the Insane difficulty start with the Admiral difficulty settings, and I became slightly addicted to taking loans from the village, it has led me and the citizens of Sunny Cove into a bit of an issue with our debt. And if I show you quickly here, you can see the amount of debt on here. I mean, we're breaching 1,000 construction parts that we currently owe the village, and we are paying well over 200 per year. And we are quite not in the position where we are making that much in a year. So if we take a quick look here, we are lucky if we make it above 150, so slight issue. So today we're going to be focusing on paying that down. Now, it's not the most interesting subject, so we are going to be making a few tweaks to the process, checking in on the things we've already built and seeing if we can make any improvements to the efficiency. So hopefully we can pay down that debt a bit faster and we can start actually progressing on the tech tree. So we'll get the game running, and naturally the first place to check in on is our construction parts. So last time what we were doing was working on our concrete brick production, as one of the bottlenecks was using bricks rather than concrete slabs. So you can see here now we're fully stacked with concrete slabs. I wondered if they were dropping some off there, and that shouldn't be too much of an issue anymore. Actually, you can see here's one efficiency saving already. We had not selected the concrete slab version of making construction materials too. Not there. So in fact, we weren't really doing a lot. So in the very near future, oh, it's already happened. There we go. We should see the concrete slabs pull through. Now, in theory, if we are starting to fully saturate these assembly ones, we could upgrade to assembly 2, which essentially doubles the inputs, double the outputs. So basically what I'm doing now with the boost, we could either keep the boost on to then be even higher, or save some of our Unity, which isn't too much of an issue at the minute. It's 0.2. So we hit this for upgrade. We're fine on the electronics. It's not on here on the left. But I do know we are making them, so it's not too much of an issue. What we don't have is construction parts 2. So I will actually push that up slightly, just so that we can get started with these construction parts 2, and we can start to produce even more construction parts. So go back here, take a note, we're almost at the end of 65. So that will be our kind of baseline, kind of averaging 16,832 in the years preceding fixing the concrete production. And a nice easy 100, that's easy to remember, easy to work out the improvements from that. So 100 is the goal. Ideally we need it above 200. Now, we're not quite going to get to that point yet, but we do need a bit more construction. Now we'll just up the priority on this. I'll let that play through. We can take another few looks. Now, one of the other things I did notice is that our food was running quite low, and we are only playing with the original farms. So we do have a few more options when it comes to food production. Now it's irrigated farms. The issue we have here is it's quite expensive in terms of construction materials too. What we could do, however, is if we look at this average production over the 60 cycle time, you can make an adjustment here for adding in green manure, so 7.3. Yeah, I think we just go with one set of green manure and brings it up to 7.3, so it's not a massive improvement, but every little bit will help. That's how you do this ones now. Ideally, we'd have them cycle alternate, so when one is working on the green manure, the other one would be working on the potatoes. So that should be okay, actually. Although saying that, we did just hit 0 months. Part of the issue is having this green, this one cycle of green, although it will overall improve the yield. That particular time when we are very low and we've not produced any food is not ideal. Nor is the lack of water. So realistically, we do wonder if we could fit smell. Annoyingly, they are quite large, as you would expect a farm to be. So we probably will struggle to just naturally find a spot for it to go down. And we failed to make a payment there. That's not surprising, though. Oh, I've actually got enough to boost it. It's too busy talking, and they've already done the job. So there we go. We have an assembly 2. Now I might actually upgrade one more, and then we can turn off this construction parts 2, and we can have a look at how much more we should produce. So in theory, we were having 2. So these 2 are working on separate pieces. These 2 assemblies were on 12 each, 24 for a total, and now it's going up to 48. Or will be once we get this finished. You see, actually it is running, so that's good. It's obviously struggling to get the construction parts, which it so desperately needs. And let's check it on here and see if this is still producing fine. So it would be nice to finish this, a few more bits of this off, because it doesn't quite function as is. One reason being we have this absolutely gigantic pipe bringing water in. So for the time being, the water is just getting picked up from here, and there's an excess above 36. In theory, we could just bring a little pipe up here, because I'm worried this is going to end up being another bottleneck. So I'll bring this around here. We can worry about balancing it a bit later. And how reasonable is that to build? Not really, just over 100. The issue we have with this map, and specifically, so this is the Armageddon map. I'm assuming that's named due to the giant crater in the center of it. But the issue with this location is it's incredibly uneven terrain, very difficult to get around. And if we were going to use this pump at all, then the trucks would actually drive around, which is a massive waste of time. We don't have much spare capacity when it comes to trucks. I'm distracted because I'm noticing all of these deaths pop out from my screen. One easy way to fix this would have just been to make a trade. Ironically, the thing that we struggle most with, construction parts, is what we need in order to purchase potatoes. I'm reluctant to well, this is significantly worse. I'm reluctant to get any loan, and I'm fairly certain I can't actually get a loan anymore because one, our credit score is non-existent, and the max loan is 1. So, not quite going to work. Now, this is where it's going to become rather interesting in that we are going to struggle with people, or lack thereof. So we do need to make sure the food, so I'm not worried about min-maxing this, but we do need to make sure that we do have some people producing the food. Speed up slightly. Now we're negative 45 workers, so that's a fair amount to lose. We just need to look around and see where are we losing that. Just start copper production here. Oh, we did forgot to check in to see if we actually improved at all. We went to 100 to 84, so that was not a success of the year. So we turn the beacon back on. We should get a few more people in. We really don't want this too low. The issue we have is we should turn that off already. The issue we have is we just need enough people to start running some bits in our process. This just has a lack of people. We're going to have to power through a bit of Unity now. Get these concrete slabs going again. See, there's probably a few things we can actually just pause. Like, I don't want the smokestone. Like the brick. I'm no longer using it. At least actually takes any people to see top right corner where it say how many people work there. That's fine. We can use this tool on the right. It's much more efficient. So maybe turn off half of our iron production there. We don't have enough to turn off over here. And it would be very foolish to turn off any of our diesel, as we will come to a grinding halt. We could perhaps turn off the rubber. So it's only negative 48. And we still don't have enough to trade for food. We need 20. 420. So, there we go. New refugees. Plus 14. That's actually handy. And then they did bring copper, rubber, iron scrap, and diesel. The diesel is handy. The rest, not so much. We went down slightly. I mean, you would not actually tell the difference so far. We've done some work to try and improve our construction parts. Hopefully, we can start to push through a little more. I think we are really going to struggle to pay this off whilst surviving. I'm almost tempted to just pay down some of these smaller ones. Just look. The interest rate is 9, 10, 9, and 8. Oh, this big one is actually the lowest interest rate. That would potentially be better to pay off this 170. It would make us, or make me feel a little bit better if we had 3 rather than 4. Makes me feel like we're going in the right direction in that case. We are starting to gather more food. That's possibly partly because of this slight uptick in production, partly also because there's significantly less workers and people now to eat said food. So one that we're going to have to correct a bit later on. Now, I think the key to that is probably moving it just irrigated. In fact, whilst this is running, we should just check the research. we do have crop research. We can pick up vegetables, but it's not really anything overly useful now for our issue with food. Let's just pick up a few more of these. We will use them at some point. In fact, it would be smart to turn off the research because we are well ahead of, well, the research is well ahead where we are, and therefore not immensely useful. No, it's always the same 4 things. I can't say I often click to see what, if any, they bring, or items they bring with you, with them. It's always the same. But anyway, concrete slabs, still the issue, so might as well actually turn one of these off the boost. We're struggling to make up for it. And what we're struggling to do is crushed slag. We only need 2 people, so let's throw that on. Do we need a lot of crushed slag? We do. This does need to be running quite consistently. But there we go. It's starting to get out of running if we had some power here. Maintenance is still doing fine, so that's good. Ticking on nicely there. And diesel, it was up in the 200s. So it wasn't too bad that it's dropped down to 160, but one to definitely keep an eye on. And we should any second see the latest. A slight uptick. I don't think I've ever spent so much time looking at the graphs and feeling surprised. Maybe it's OG. Feeling surprised that I've made lots of changes and it's 8 more construction parts in a year. We don't have any construction parts again. This truly is grinding to a halt. Did we paid 8 then? Don't think it actually goes off. It is lowering this payment due, but not by the number I'm actually paying. See, it seems to take into account, I think it's probably still a calculation off the balance. Therefore, I am paying some off. But not a lot. In theory, someone should just come and deliver that 16. I wonder if these are our big kind of bits that are open for construction still. So I know obviously I'll pause these, a couple of these other bits are still running. The problem is because we need the slag to be crushed up, but we don't produce the slag in near the same quantities when we don't have the full iron production running. So that's definitely not ideal. Have a wasted small excavator there as well. Let's check those loads again. Pay off a little bit. You can see this one is, we're not going to make that. That's over. We don't produce that in a year. In theory, we could maybe just about pay off those 3. And then that would leave that with the balance that we're unable to produce. Don't really have any spare capacity. Yeah, that's going to stop. I'm wondering if we do turn on gravel as well. Use this too. Yeah, so it can take gravel. suppose it could take any of these. And that's actually how we produce the manufactured sand. If we have block to gravel to manufactured sand, and then we wouldn't need to be digging up the sand instead. And we are starting to rub off some rock. So maybe this will run a bit smoother. I'll have a bad idea. We've run out of unity. Let's tidy this up. We'll probably turn this off. And we can turn that off. Obviously, the beacon will in itself require 1 unity, but we do almost need that to get back to 6 workers, or get back the remaining 6-7 workers. Plus, we have paused a number of items that would be nice to get back on in the meantime. Yeah, you can see they do have water is now the issue we have. I think we're in a bit of a predicament here, and I'm not sure how to actually do this remotely quickly. Therefore, I think the best option is, since I got us in this mess and the people are starving again, I'll pause while I'm making this speech. Since I got us in this mess, I think I need to go away, get this debt down. And I don't think there is a simple way of doing it other than taking some time. So you see we're in April year 70. I imagine by the time I get this sorted, I'll be slightly further ahead in the future. And then maybe I'll recap once we're back. 1, how long it took. And 2, any other changes I make.